Hey friends, I'm Ash.
I'm Elle.
We are Lobby Cosplay.
This is Shenanigans, Cosplayers Say, and you are joining us for our holiday episode for 2024.
Happy holidays.
Well, at least you're joining us for our second or third attempt because the internet hates us and doesn't want us to record right now.
There's so many things. Well, first I got an eye infection. And then...
Well, that's also true. You got sick.
And then you had to get a new phone.
I did have to get a new phone. And
Yes.
then they shut off my old phone before I was able to transfer my old phone to my new phone. That's why I had to handle that quickly because they messed up my my stuff. So
Boo.
I had to get that taken care of because I was an hour away at work and realized my phone didn't work.
Ew.
Yeah, that was cool. They didn't mention that they were just going to shut it off because I had not been available when the phones went to get picked up because like most millennials, I am still on a family plan with my parents because it's cheaper.
It's so much cheaper.
And because I have a really long commute, I hadn't had time to like do the whole syncing thing because it takes it a while. So it was like, I'll just take care of it on Friday when I'm home. And they shut my phone off on Thursday. And I think they bought them on Tuesday.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And that was not like that. They didn't tell my parents that like you have 24 hours or we're shutting your phone off.
Oh, no.
So I'm like all the way in Iowa City realizing that my phone doesn't work. And I'm like, cool.
Yikes.
Cool. This is great. This is
the worst.
Awesome. So luckily.
And then my internet hated us.
Yeah, and then your internet hated us. So we're trying to bank episodes because I have some things coming up that we are not talking about yet. But in the 100th episode, you will find out what we have coming.
We have a recording schedule and we're trying our darndest to stick to it.
We had a really good schedule, but everything keeps getting messed up because I also keep having things I have to do on Monday because apparently no one is open on Fridays.
Because if it can go wrong, it will go wrong.
Yes. But some things are hopefully going to go better because we're going to kind of start with some products from this year, and I finally bit the bullet and bought an actual professional dress form.
After you literally threw your other one away.
I did literally. I gave it away to someone at FunkCon when we were like breaking our stuff down because it was so incredibly broken.
That was after you said, hey, do you know where there's a dumpster so I can throw this away?
And
they're
someone
like,
went, I will
want
take it.
We're like, but it's broken. They said, I don't care.
Yeah, I think they were going to use it for like displaying to something or whatnot. And I'm like, okay. I mean, it'll work for that.
Yes.
So
use your mad prop skills to fix it so that it stays stable.
Yeah.
And then use it.
I don't want to have to move it because I no longer have like a house with worth of space, so it didn't seem worth it to me. So I did give in and get a professional dress form, kind of based on a lot of recommendations from all of you from Instagram. I ended up going with the Shop Company. So what is really cool about these dress forms is they come in a really wide variety of sizes. So they are not the customizable ones that you can get that are in the like $1,000+ range. These range more between like $300 and $400. But they do have a wide variety of sizes. You can get pretty close to your size. And then for an additional price, you can buy a padding kit, which at first I thought was just like a pattern, but it turns out it's actual like silicone pads you can buy that go under the cover.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that you can use to like fill out the spaces that aren't quite the right size. Mm-hmm. She is a heavy as well. Like the box just came the other day, so I haven't opened it up yet because I do want to make sure all the parts are in there, but then she's just going to go back in the box. So
right, she can live there for now.
But I would say it's at least 60 pounds. I mean,
oh wow,
the sucker's heavy, but
heavy duty. I like it.
Well, it's got a metal stand.
Beautiful.
And it's meant for being able to do pants. So the stand actually goes off to the side.
So it's got the split leg.
Yeah, it's got wheels. You know,
I looked at their website and I was like, oh, this is neat.
Yeah, I had multiple people recommend them. Mad Dog Cosplay, thank you for answering some of my questions because yours came about a week or so ago. So I was asking additional questions about it. Mm-hmm. But I'm really hoping this makes sewing less horrible because I absolutely detest patterning. because I cannot flat pattern. I have to put it on something to understand what I want the lines to do.
I think this will help you.
I think so, because I'm still doing it like physically on my person, and it's just really frustrating. And I have a couple costumes I'd really like to take in, since when I was sick about a year ago, I never went back to my previous size. So I have certain costumes like 9 and Harley that are now quite big, and I think this would make it really easy to take them in, because it's like kind of like I have them but I can't use them because they're way too big now.
Yeah.
So maybe this will make that a less daunting process if I can like take that apart, readjust the seams, and then put it back together, as opposed to like putting it on myself, taking it off, putting it on, taking it off, like trying to. Well, and then, I had a My Double that was probably 15 years old, and it couldn't get small enough in the hips to also match my waist. So, like, that was always a big problem. That's kind of a problem with this one, too, but that's what the padding's for. So my hips and my waist are about the same. I think there's a difference of maybe 4 inches. I don't curve in. Technically, the form that was closest to my actual measurements was the one for a 14-year-old boy.
And no one's shocked.
Nobody should be surprised by that. Honestly, if I'm ever in the financial situation to own 2, I will probably also get a male one because of the amount of male characters that I play.
Yeah.
But honestly, the 14-year-old boy one was closer than the female one. And I ended up with a 2, so almost the smallest one.
Yeah.
But my hips and my waist are so close to the same size that it was like, well, nothing's going to work in the waist because then the hips are humongous. So I can add padding and it'll all like even out. I did think it was funny though that I just put it, I was like, I wonder, oh yeah, no, the 14-year-old boy one matches much closer than the female dress form.
Too funny.
Yes, I'm hoping that helps.
Yeah.
But I know that multiple people got this recently and have been raving about it. So
awesome.
You can check out, we are not sponsored, but they should sponsor us. You can check out the shop company. I'll throw the link in the show notes.
There are no sponsorships in this episode.
We are not sponsored. However, you should sponsor us because you should.
Just because you should. That's like an old joke at this point.
I like it. We have no sponsors. So.
Because there are no sponsors. Yeah. Well, and when we were talking about this, I was like, oh, I wonder if the kit that's been out of stock for like 4 years at this point that I've been trying to buy is back in stock. And it was. So I have also purchased a form padding kit. It's supposed to be here sometime next week. So.
Well, because you're still working with like, you have a My Double too, don't you?
I don't remember if it's that particular one. I haven't really had a chance to use it yet. It just, I mean, I think I've used it once and it's hangs some things on it every once in a while, but it's got some upgrades that I'd like to make to it. Like I want to make a stand so that it's taller, and I want to put it on a lazy Susan so it spins. Because that would make my life easier. But
oh yeah, I guess mine's on wheels, so I guess we'll just
I want to get a lazy Susan for it so that and I've looked at those, like the heavy duty ones, so that it can hold heavy costumes.
Right. Well, because my Double used to like crush under the weight of certain costumes. So
well, and I've already got my padding kit will come with like a stretchy thing, but I already have a stretchy dress that's on top of it, like a bodycon style dress. So we'll just make some minor adjustments to get it to where it needs to be, but it should be good.
Oh, you know what I can put on this new dress form that I couldn't put on my other one that would have been really happy?
Tell me.
The butt.
The butt.
The butt can actually go on it because you can put pants on it.
Yes.
So we haven't talked about the butt for a long time, but I have
Speaking of silicone
and hip butt padding shorts that I have used multiple times for any female character that needs more of that curve definition. So anytime I have like a fitted skirt, so like I've used it for 9, like I've used it for Beryl, because I don't have that hourglass shape. So anything that's like a mermaid skirt style looks really odd on me. But now the butt will fit on the dress form.
Love it.
So I'll have it exactly to butt plus my person. So that's great because I was looking at like scrap fabric and I have fabric to make one of the goddesses from Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
But that is definitely a mermaid skirt. So it would need the butt.
I love it.
So I can put the butt on the dress form.
I touched the butt.
This dress form should also work better with when you put like a bra on it or something than the previous one too. Like the shape should just cooperate better. So hopefully that will help, because I do have to do a lot of padding typically whenever doing a more feminine costume. So
fingers crossed.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not making any female costumes right away once I get situated. But I mean, Hinoto will get thrown up there, but that's like very free form.
Yeah.
Like she's not fitted at all. But maybe I won't want to throw things across the room when I do a fitted costume.
Fingers crossed.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was my Christmas present to myself, was my kit. This is actually the first year I have not put anything cosplay related on my Christmas list, but we're not doing Christmas for adults for the most part.
Woo.
So, yes, which I'm excited about, because as we sit here talking about products, like, Christmas is such a commercialized holiday.
I mean, it is. I bought way too many things over Black Friday because it's just, every few years, like, certain things like wear out and you have to replace them. Yeah. I'm just at that time again, so
it happens. Yeah. No, I think the only cosplay gift I've gotten this year, for Mother's Day, I received in the mail a cosplay planner journal.
Oh,
it's cute. It's definitely one of those, it's the thought that counts things. I haven't actually used it in conjunction with cosplay yet, but it's a printed, like, leather bound journal that says my cosplay journal or something like that on the outside of it. So I was like, oh, that's adorable. Cute. I love that.
That's cute.
Yeah. Yep. So, speaking of products, we did have somebody submit one of their faves. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So, we did have some things set in, and, for the most part, they were kind of products that people mostly knew about. The dress form from the shop company, honestly, was one that we got quite a bit. But DCW Builds, who is a cosplayer from Chicago, who we know from Crown, actually mentioned the Dremel flex shaft, and I had to go take a look at this, and I might need one. So for those of you that struggle with holding your Dremel, this solves all of your problems. So a Dremel, if you don't know, is a vibrating tool that's primarily used for different types of sanding and etching. And the Dremel is not the lightest weight thing on the planet. Like, it's typically around, 16 ounces. It vibrates. It's very hard to use for long periods of time, especially for anyone that has difficulty with their joints. So what the flex shaft is it's a smaller, pen-sized tool that connects to the end of the Dremel with, a tube. And so instead of holding onto the Dremel itself, you hold onto the smaller tool, which has less weight and less vibration issues, and allows you to do some more finer detailing. And so then you just hang your Dremel up on, a hook, and you use the little one instead, and this thing looks really cool. Because, I have a Dremel. I think I've used it once, and I hated it. It's big, it's bulky, it's hard to hold on to. My joints don't like it. So I've really just never used it again. And even any, sanding tools have always been a problem for me because of the vibration. So I think this might be a bit of a game changer. And depending on, when you get it, it can be anywhere between, $20-$30, depending if it's on sale, if it's not on sale. So it's also not a hugely expensive add-on tool. So this will probably be something that I look at getting before I work on Sinbad. I guess depending on if my Dremel's compatible with it. My Dremel's really old. It's at least 6 years old, so I don't know if it's compatible with this tool or not. But if it is, it might be worth checking out. So.
Well, and I always keep an Amazon wish list of things that I'm like, man,
Same.
That's really neat. I might want to use this at some point in the future, but I can't justify buying it this second.
Yep.
And I got a couple of those on there. And some of them are just normal things. I don't own a hot knife, so I need to get a hot knife at some point. But there are a couple of them that I thought were kind of cool. One of them is from Surebonder, which again, we're not sponsored. We're not sponsored. But they make the hot glue skillet.
What?
It's like a crock pot, but it's for hot glue.
So instead of using your toaster oven,
yes,
you're going to use the skillet.
That's a joke for any of you that have come to our live comedy show.
Yes.
But it's like a warmer, like you would use for, your wax melts or anything like that, except it's for hot glue. So instead of holding the gun and having to do that repetitive trigger motion over and over, or waiting for your glue to melt whenever you run out of a stick, you can, depending on what you're making, just hold what you're making or the pieces that you're wanting to apply. Like if you were making, let's say, like a Christmas wreath because it's the holidays, and I wanted to take like an ornament and glue it into the wreath, instead of applying it with the gun, I could just take my ornament, dip it in, and then stick it right where I want it to go. Okay. So you can also be more precise with it. Or if I had something really small I wanted to apply, I could take tweezers and hold it and then just go boop in the glue and then put it right where I want it.
Okay.
And let it cool. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Well, and I do, Surebonder, I didn't really think there was a difference in hot glue until I got a Surebonder. There's definitely a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't go back now. So
I need to get a new machine at some point. I bought a brand new gun, I think before C2E2 this year, and then it broke. And I was like, what is this? It was not a Surebonder. It was just something at my local craft store.
Yeah. I got the one that can do both the hot and the cool, and their cool hot glue does actually work.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is about $40 for anybody that's interested, unless you get it on sale. So it's not a terrible price at all. The other one, I thought, it's technically a leather crafting tool, but I know a lot of people that are into corsetry, and I'm like, this would be really great for corsetry. It's a equal space divider.
Oh, I saw this. I want one.
I know. So the particular listing that I found, you open it up and it has either 5, 7, or 11 points on it, which obviously if you need in between that, you don't have to use all of them and mark all of them. But it's for like belt holes. So whenever you're making belts, you just space it out however far you want it spaced, and then you put the little pointy ends down and mark them. And then that's where you would make your belt holes. But I'm like, this would be great for making corsets because you could use it for your eyelet spacing.
Yes, I want one. I saw someone using it for that, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I need it.
It just came across my feed when I was like scrolling through Amazon randomly, and I was like, I need this in my life. And they're only like $20.
Nice. Because I can't do those evenly to save my life.
The bigger ones are more, and obviously if you get one from like an actual leather crafting company, it's probably better quality and more expensive, but it's still super neat. And I was like, I want that. Yes. All the good things. If you got anything really cool on your, either just in general or on your holiday list this year, let us know. I'm always curious to see what kind of cool things people get.
Right. So we did also get a couple of stories from some people, so thank you to everyone who sent things in. We have selected 3 that we are going to read. We are also hoping to bring back listener and community stories, so if you have anything that you would like to share, convention, fandom, cosplay related, you can DM us, or in our link tree there is an anonymous Google form you can use in the event that you don't want anyone to know who you are. You can also send things that way, or you can email us. But we would love to get that started back up again, so please send us anything that you've got. Right, so our first story is from Hoshi.rosethorn Cosplay, and Rosie said, this is the Con Crunch sewing ribbon roses onto a dress at Christmas story. I was speed building a Disney-bound style gold dress for Belle, and I wanted to include the hidden Mickeys in the roses. This had a deadline of my birthday, which falls 2 days after Christmas. This particular year happened to be my golden birthday, hence the gold outfit. So I found a way to turn gold ribbons from the craft store into a rose-like spiral and tack the spiral down at the bottom of the rose spiral with hand sewing, which was the most time-consuming task of the build. In particular, because of family commitments and working 2 retail jobs, the coffee shop and the video game store, I ended up not being able to complete the build before heading to my family's holiday celebration, which I would be at until the morning of my birthday. So the project came to the family celebrations with me. The celebrations had 3 to 4 dogs, 7 to 10 adults, and 4 children, who at the time were all 10 or under. All in my sister's 1910 era house. I spent every spare moment I had outside of time with my family, finishing sewing the ribbon roses together and attaching the ribbons to the dress. The dress was gold poly stretch velvet that wasn't horribly shiny or horrible for sensory input and had a soft, cool tone gold satin collar attached. You were going to have us panicking there for a second when you said stretch velvet, Rosie.
I know.
So.
My eyes bugged out a little. I was like, ooh, panic.
Panic. This was mostly done in the evenings around bedtime for the children, but I do have the vivid memory of the oldest one asking about the cosplay and me answering with, Con Crunch sewing ribbon roses onto my birthday dress so I can be Belle on my birthday, as I tacked the completed roses onto the dress. The dress is still wearable years later.
Oh, I remember I had to go. Was it Christmas? I'm trying to think if it was Christmas or a funeral. I ended up taking cosplay with me because it was just like, it was like a 14 or 15 hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
And I had things to get done.
Right?
So it came with. And yeah, like in the car and in the room, like just hand sewing forever.
That's how it works sometimes.
Sometimes it just be like that.
It does be like that sometimes.
This is very relatable though.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, love it. Our next submission is from the Starry Night Cosplay. So for holiday best item I got for cosplay, I do a lot of plushies with my cosplay, and I was working on one and ran out of polyfill. I usually buy the 10-pound box when it's on sale, and it lasts me 4 to 5 years. So I got it out and buy a box and finish my plush. The week comes and my aunt comes over and tells me, hey, your Christmas present is in the car. Okay, I say. She said it can't go in her house because I'm allergic to cats, so she's giving it to me early. She takes me out to her car and opens the trunk, and inside there's another 10-pound box of polyfill. I currently have 20 pounds of polyfill. I will not have to buy polyfill for a decade because of my aunt's gift.
That's great.
That's awesome. And honestly, those are like the best types of presents, or you're just like, here's this totally normal thing that I use literally all the time. And yes.
Normalize just getting people things that they typically will use all the time, because I am definitely at that age where I don't want extra random things.
Yeah.
Especially with like downsizing space. Like I don't need a Christmas decoration or, random thing that's gonna sit in my closet. Like, but you want to buy me my favorite snack? Yeah, let's go.
I know. Like, I made jokes the one year that I think it was probably COVID year where I was like, I should just get everybody toilet paper and Lysol. But normalize those things. I bought everybody crockpot liners one year. Like,
I use those all the time.
Give me useful commodities.
Yes.
Give me foaming hand soap and nice scents. Like,
I love foaming hand soap and nice scents.
Like to use, but hate paying for myself because I'm like, regular hand soap works just as well. I'm like, but I like it, and it feels like a luxury, and it's just a normal thing. So
what you're telling me is I should go to Bath & Body, and I should buy you foaming hand soap for Christmas.
You can, and because
I might now.
Because I bought several because we have company coming over for Christmas. Right? So I was like, I want to go and buy some hand soap, and my husband's like, okay, and he just stayed in the car because it's easier that way. But it needs to be
like not in the Christmas sense, because it has to be in that, what is it, Twilight Woods, or
I don't
what is
know.
it?
That is my favorite.
I know.
That is my favorite sign. And they had discontinued it a couple years ago for a while.
Isn't it back?
Yeah. Well, it's back for their regular stuff. I don't know if they make it in the hand soap or not. But that's definitely my favorite, like, I use it for like body spray. Not a huge body lotion person, but...
You know you've been friends for a long time when you randomly remember the person.
Randomly remember things like
That's
that.
That's because the jar comes with conventions and then I see it.
Yes, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
I love it. And they make refill bottles now. You don't even have to buy like new plastic hand pumps all the time because now they make both reusable.
Oh, really?
They make just kind of like, there was one that was like marble colored, and I was like, well, that's nifty. So they make reusable pumps, which I just reuse my regular plastic disposable ones anyway.
I eventually got like a glass one because I buy the Method refills.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can buy them in big jugs from Amazon, so.
Yeah, so they do that now. They have those.
I didn't know that.
And they've had the sleeves for a long time, like the decorative sleeves that
you
can sit
those
it in.
I knew, yeah.
But now they also make like refill cartons.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Where you can buy foaming hand soap like in a carton to pour into the bottle. And I was like, that's super nifty.
That's dangerous, though.
Look at our Bath and Body Works tangent.
So sponsor us, Bath and Body Works.
But honestly, like 10 pounds of fiber fill.
That's great.
Like,
though.
Oh my goodness.
Like you won't need to buy that forever, and that stuff's expensive.
Well, and just like, I don't think people realize how much 10 pounds of polyfill is.
Because my like small bag I've had for like so I have like a bag of polyfill, a bag of like the foam bits, and then something else that are like in between, like 1 or 2 bags of polyfill, but they're not the big bags.
Mm-hmm.
Their current job is they're cushioning the inside of my curio cabinet.
Nice.
for moving, but like I've had that forever. Like I can't imagine 20 pounds.
20 pounds. Like I think like the normal ones are like the normal like what I would consider like a regular size bag is less than a pound.
Yes. They don't weigh anything.
Like they don't weigh anything. It's just like, oh my goodness, there's so much.
I feel like we need a picture of what 10 pounds of polyfill looks like the Starry Night.
Is this like the condensed version or just like exploded? Well, I almost think you need to know like it's like when they're doing those like weight loss things and they're holding up something and they're like, this is a pound of fat. And you're like, wow, that's a lot of fat. Like, you need that, but with polyfill. Like, this is a pound of polyfill. Now imagine this times 10.
It's like, sure, I can find a picture of, like, the box of 10 pounds of polyfill, but I need it next to, like, a banana or something so we understand its scale.
Like, I need it outside of the box so that it's exploded everywhere. So you know exactly how much. But then you
probably couldn't get it back in the box.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that would be the problem.
There's so much of it. And it also just kind of ridiculously makes me happy that there's just that much polyfill. Yes. Yeah, I don't think I've bought a new one since the last time that I moved. That was probably the last time that I bought. Because when I moved out of my house before the one I'm in right now, which that was 8 or probably 8 years. I don't know. It's been a really long time. Like, I had to throw that one away because it was in the basement and it got moisture, and we had, like, field mice that would come in under the door, and so it got in, and it wasn't worth keeping. And I was like, nope, this one can go away. But, yeah, no, I haven't had to buy a new thing of polyfill since then, and there's still, like, half a bag left.
Right.
So much polyfill.
Well, we have one more story. This is more of a winter cosplay-related story. From Dewfeathers, and I do believe that this story takes place in the frozen tundra of Minnesota. Yes, it does. So Dewfeathers said, my second time competing in a cosplay competition was at a con in Minnesota in November. It was the most empty competition room I have ever competed in because it happened in the afternoon on Sunday and a big snowstorm hit the city right before the competition started.
Yikes.
And by empty, I mean there were 5 contest entries and maybe a few dozen people in the audience. For comparison, when I competed in a different contest the day before, the con had multiple contests. I think I know what show this is now. Over 50 contestants showed up and the main stage audience was packed to the point of standing room only. All of the Sunday contestants went home with an award and I ended up taking Best in Show. But no one stuck around to chat afterwards because we all had to rush home before it became too difficult to drive. definitely a memorable competition.
Snow gives me PTSD.
Yep. Well, and I remember us trying to come back from Minnesota once upon a time, and we couldn't because the roads were shut down because snow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that was in like April. It was like not... Because I remember, because it was when we were rehearsing with Wig for Sailor Moon, and we went like in winter, and it was like 40 degrees and it was fine. And I want to say we went back for a rehearsal in April, and that's when we had all the snow.
Yeah.
And we had to go south by like 30 miles to get on 80.
Yeah,
because
we had to go way out of the way.
Was it 39?
Because the road, normally we would go like diagonally across Iowa to get to Minnesota. And this said, no, you're doing like a straight up L. So we had to go all the way down to Des Moines and then cut across on the interstate instead of taking the 2-lane highway.
Yeah, because we couldn't get on the smaller highway.
Yeah, because one of those was legit, like, closed.
Yeah, they, like, closed the gate. You couldn't get on.
Yeah, they're like we're like, why is the GPS really mad right now? And we're like, we actually got off, I think, and then we're like, oh, that's why.
That's why. We cannot go that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a no bueno situation. So, unfortunately, we could not go that way. But,
we could not.
Yeah. Well,
that's what we have for our holiday episode. We hope that all of you who have been celebrating various holidays this past, like, couple months here have
there's so many
enjoyed
holidays.
them. There's so many.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many holidays happening right now.
Absolutely.
We will be back to our regularly scheduled programming in 2 weeks. We are going to talk about in 2 weeks whether or not it's time for us to retire. We'll explain.
Yeah, nobody panic.
But if you want us to finally talk about the current climate of cosplay competitions, this is the episode for you.
I feel like this is one of those things we've talked about talking about.
Yes, this has been a highly requested episode, but it is going to be covering the massive changes that have occurred in the competition scene since COVID. So all the big changes that have happened in about the last 4 to 5 years.
Well, something to look forward to,
yeah, friends. And then after that is the 100th episode.
What? That's crazy.
I know. Somehow we made it to 100 episodes.
And when we started this journey back in 2020, you were like, nobody ever thought we'd ever thought we'd be here. I shouldn't say nobody. We probably never imagined we'd actually get to this point. So
no, I did not anticipate we would get this
happy holidays
far. And we have obviously had some setbacks, but slowly but surely.
But the number of episodes that we have done is not dependent on time.
No, it is not.
So regardless, we have still made it this far.
We did make it this far, so.
All right, friends. That's all for now.
That is.
TTFN and all that jazz. I'm Ash.
I'm Elle.
We are Lavi Cosplay.
And this is Shenanigans Cosplayers Say. You've been listening to Shenanigans Cosplayers Say, produced by LVC Productions. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube at Lavi Cosplay. Our podcast Instagram is Podcast SCS. Our website is lavicosplay.com. Have a fun, crazy con or cosplay-related story, absurd cosplay question, or just something in general to share with us? Email us at podcastscs@gmail.com or DM us at podcastscs or Lavi Cosplay on Instagram. If you like what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for listening, and remember, just because you can doesn't mean you should.